All right, we are done for the final time with total body core. We are on day 47. I'm loving that we have these sheets. If you've ever done a program of ours before, oftentimes you can find these sheets where you can track your weight. So many times people get really caught up in their weight, their measurements, and they fail to see that they're getting stronger, which greatly improves every part of their life. This week is the final week of month 2, and then we move into phase 3. So that means next week there's going to be brand new workouts, things that we have never even tried. So today it was kind of bittersweet because we've been doing the same workout for the last 4 weeks every Wednesday. The way the reps work and the way the workouts are sequenced has changed, but this is our final time, and so it's bittersweet, but I love seeing the adjustments that I've made from week 5, day 3 to week 8, day 3. So I wanted to talk to you about a little bit about what I've been posting about. I've been trying to create value and really help people with what I see they're struggling with. And I hear all the time that people are talking about feeling like they're a slave to food. And I know from somebody who felt like I was a slave to alcohol, to drugs, to nicotine, to bad relationships, that I know what it feels like to feel powerless over something. And food is a widely addictive thing, and it's available everywhere. We see food on TV in every store we go into. People use food to celebrate, and really, a lot of people get down on themselves because they find themselves binge eating, and I've done this before. I cannot tell you how many times I have found myself, with the mindset of like, oh, I just ate a handful of chocolate chips. Let's just eat the whole thing so I don't do this again, tomorrow. And that makes sense at the time, and but then it comes with guilt, shame, depression, and then you beat yourself up, and most of the time these things happen over and over again. But I found that a long time ago, I was a binge eater for different reasons. I didn't eat a lot throughout the day because I had fallen into the trap of the myth that the less you eat, the less you should weigh. Well, that didn't happen. I also felt like the less calories you consume, the less you should weigh and the smaller you should be, which is not true. I've learned so much in the last 5.5 years, and it's all been self-taught through books, through following experts, podcasts, and all of these things are available to you as well. But for me, I had the same routine. I skipped breakfast, mostly because I stayed up too late the night before drinking. We were rushing out the door, getting kids to school, me to work, and I would live off of a pot of coffee all day long. So that means I went from, the evening before, whether it be 6, 7 o'clock at night, all the way until lunchtime the next day with no food. Our body and our energy levels are in our brain is fueled by food. So I would drink tons of coffee, and then here's the thing is, whenever you are starving, you usually don't think like, geez, let me go make a salad. Let me go out and pick the healthiest food. You're tired, your brain's not functioning, and all you think of is these starchy carbs, these things that are going to turn into sugar and give you that, burst of energy that's very temporary. And so then I would eat that, high carb, fatty food, and then I would go till 6 o'clock at night without eating. And then when I got home, I would eat anything and everything. I would eat large portions. I would never be able to understand that when I was full. And that was because I wasn't getting enough calories throughout the day. I wasn't getting them regularly through the day. I wasn't eating a healthy, balanced diet. And today, with the 80-day obsession, we are on really, it hasn't really necessarily been named yet, but in month 2 and month 3, we have 2 days out of month 2, 2 days out of month 3 that are the day before leg day. So that means tomorrow's leg day, that we are basically upping our carbs, and we're upping our sugar because we've been working at a deficit. We need to restore that into our body, but we're really careful on what carbs we are eating. There seems to be carb phobia over the years, and I've felt prey to that all carbs are bad. Not all carbs are bad. There is a whole list that I can give you of carbs that are good for you, and especially if you are diabetic, have diabetes that runs in your family, you're pre-diabetic, you have any blood sugar issues, you want to stick to a certain, amount of carbs and a certain type of carbs that, there are some carbs that are bad, but all carbs aren't bad. And so today we've upped our carbs, but this isn't something that we're going to be doing all the time. So later on today, I'm going to throw together a collage and let you guys know what I ate. And this isn't, if you did the program, this wouldn't be necessarily what you ate, because it all depends on your weight and what plan you're in. But for me, I'm going to show you what we can eat. So it's not a very restrictive diet, and you get to go off the radar a little bit, but not completely off where you're gonna just go bananas. And so we are, like today, I have in the oven right now a baked potato. It's not something I'm gonna eat every day, and this is something to just keep in mind. But I've been reading a book that's been talking about nutrition, and I wanted to share this with you guys because I think this is really informative and helpful, especially if you have carb phobia, especially if you have energy issues, or you're constantly under eating and then binging later on. And a lot of it can have a lot to do with your blood sugar, and there's so many people out there who are insulin resistant. They're having all these issues, and a lot of time it's food related. So it says, chances are when you binge on food, you don't binge on salads. I said that earlier. You binge on muffins, pies, sweets, fizzy drinks, and donuts, mostly refined carbohydrates. And that means things that have been processed. The problem with refined carbohydrates is that your body finds them appealing sources of energy. They are easily broken down into simple sugars and quickly absorbed into the bloodstream, causing a rise in your blood sugar levels. This causes an immediate reaction in your body because high levels of sugar are toxic. Remember that if you're stuffing your face with lots of sugar. Are toxic to the cells. So your body releases a surge of insulin, which pulls the sugar from the blood. Unfortunately, insulin is too good at its job, and instead of reducing blood sugar levels to normal, it sends them plummeting lower than it was originally to subnormal levels. And so that's something that happened to me, that I would eat, and literally an hour after I got done with lunch, I would be sitting at my desk, and I would literally want to crawl under my desk and fall asleep because I would just have a crash. And that's why so many times people will turn to sugary drinks, rock stars, and all this stuff, and it lasts for a little bit, but then you crash, and that you feel worse than you did to begin with. As your brain is entirely fueled by glucose, low blood sugar levels can lead to many issues, including rapid mood swings, reduced reaction times, and depression. In this state, we feel groggy, tired, and unmotivated. Also, the more insulin you have in your blood, the more likely you are to store any excess calories as fat. But most importantly for us, low blood sugar levels make us crave fatty, sugary foods. So it's definitely like a vicious cycle. A study published in the International Journal of Eating Disorders found that when blood sugar levels were too low, the desire to binge on carb-rich foods would intensify. It's your body's way of trying to get back in balance, or trying to restore its blood sugar levels back to normal. It's an uncontrollable instinct that kicks in when your blood sugar drops. These cravings can lead to another binge on refined carbs, which leads to another blood sugar crash, which leads to another binge, which leads to another crash, and so the cycle continues, going from one sugar spike to the next. And so that's really, so many people seem to be stuck in these patterns, and they yo-yo back and forth, and really it could be simply changed by a little bit of a tweak in your diet or in your eating habits. So anyways, if any of this made sense to you, I hope that you can apply it to your life. If you need a little more clarification, or if you want help kind of getting your diet and your eating habits in check, reach out to me, because I've spent a lot of time researching this, and now being part of the 80-day obsession test group, we're learning so much, hands-on from Autumn. And the way this program is designed is so that we're eating the right foods paired together at the right times that are going to be the best for us, for our energy levels, and for building muscles and repairing our muscles when we work out. So anyways, that's day 47, and tomorrow's leg day. Stay tuned.